So I'm here with BTCC driver Rob Holland. So Rob, before we get to this weekend at Croft, despite the fact you didn't actually score any points last time out at Alton, you still moved up every single time, apart from obviously your race 3 where we had a little problem.
Yeah, no, we actually had a really good weekend there. We made some setup changes in the car. We found a whole bunch of time that we just weren't expecting, so it was really good from that standpoint. And then race 3, we actually moved up 10 spots on the start, so I was really happy with that. And we were running in P12, and unfortunately Dan Welsh had an engine issue, and it locked up and took out the back of our car, and that knocked us out of our first point scoring position of the year, which would have been really good. But, it's racing. You just take it away and you just show up to the next race and see what you can do.
Now, you say you're up in 12th. That's a good positive going into this weekend in Croft, so that you do have the pace to score points.
Yeah, that was the big thing. We were really happy with the car that we took away from Croft, and because we haven't had a chance to test very much, we really thought that we'd found something positive. But we've come here to Croft, and whatever we found at Alton Park has seemed to have gone away. We just don't have the front end grip that we need to really to get a good lap time in. So through the high speed S's, we're struggling a little bit, and we're just not able to get the power down as well as the other guys. So it's something we'll still chase. We'll probably make some setup changes in qualifying and cross our fingers and hope for the best. Until we get some test time in, it's going to be impossible to really make any true progress.
Now, the rear-wheel drive cars have got a longer first gear. Does this sort of make you now a bit happy that you're in a front-wheel drive car instead of a rear-wheel drive car?
Well, yeah, it just makes it easier to fight against the rear-wheel drive guys at the start. It was always a bit tough when you go and you do a good qualifying lap, and then you've got a rear-wheel drive car or two behind you, and then you just know that they're going to pass you before turn 1. So I think it equalizes things a little bit. I don't think it was ever about lap time. I think the lap times are fairly comparable between front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive. But so that they don't make up 4 or 5 spots on the start, I think that's going to be much better for the rest of the grid.
Now, practice 1 and 2, the weather was a bit all over the place. You're about to go out for qualifying, the weather's still a bit all over the place. Do you kind of know where you're at, sort of setup-wise? Yeah,
completely lost. It's a tough ask for us because right now, obviously, I'm just learning the circuit. This is the first time I've ever been here, so my first laps here were our first laps in practice. So you pick up a lot of time as the sessions go on, and you try to work on learning the track, but also setup as well. So the problem with the first session is that we had the weather, and obviously that curtailed pretty much half of the session. We also had a red flag in there, and then we had a red flag at the end of the second session for Robb's crash, and that makes it just really tough because we need every minute, every lap we can get, and to cut that short is just makes it a bigger mountain to climb for us.
Now, finally, do you find it good that the rain's coming down a little bit today, because tomorrow is supposed to be raining and heavily and full on?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping not to deal with the rain, but you guys have this lovely summer going on, so it's something that you just got to get used to. It's for us, the rain isn't too bad because it neutralizes a little bit our handling, the issues that we've had, so it hides it a little bit. So we actually have a bit better pace in the rain than we do in the dry, so it shouldn't be too bad. But in the rain, it always just seems to bring out the worst of everyone, and so I always end up in the barrier someplace. So I'm really hoping that we can run with some dry weather and I can stay and bring the car home clean, so that way we go into the midsummer break with a good car that we can get some testing on and work on moving up the grid a little bit.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Rob, and very good luck for qualifying.
Great, thanks, I appreciate it.